Welcome to the Art of Marx Trains, part 53. Earlier today, I did a little sneak preview of a train with a Reading Caboose that was illuminated. As far as I know, Marx never made an illuminated Reading Caboose or a 3/16 scale illuminated caboose. There was two road names, Reading, which was the first one, and then New York Central. On the New York Central, the earlier ones had metal couplers, and later ones had plastic couplers, and that was number 20102, and they were in this pacemaker New York Central color, and they didn't have any rivet detail, but they're nice looking cabooses. And on the Reading, there was rivet detail, solid red, Marline's logo on the side, and it was number 92812. Sometimes they're referred to as 3556 because that's the number that's on the end over the door, and that's significant because 556 was the number of the most common caboose ever. The 6-inch New York Central caboose was a 556, so it makes sense to add a prefix of a 3, and you get the 3556. But I think your price guides will call this the 92812. And let's look at a few details. The windows are glazed on the sides, but not the ends. Metal couplers. There's a battery box, toolbox on one side only. The holes in the cupola windows are not punched out. If you took the cupola off, it'd just be a solid piece of sheet metal, so there's no light that gets up there anyway. The smokestack goes down to the floor, and you can see it coming out right there. In fact, I've got one taken apart. This is a real beater, but a smokestack looks a lot like an axle, and it's crimped in an offset fashion so it doesn't go through the floor down on the bottom, and it doesn't go through the roof on the top. So that's what the smokestack looks like. Could be easily mistaken for an axle. As I said, this one's a beater. No window in the doors on the end, but the tabs are there. Why they never put that in there, I have no idea, but would have been nice. There's the tabs that hold the cupola on. This one looks like they had printed part of the lithography on the inside. It's got the white and the red, but not the black. You can see it's a 3 color system where they've printed red, white, and black to make the printing. Like there was something else I wanted to show you on this, and I don't know what it was. Oh, the hole on the end. Just on the back end, there's a hole for a marker light. That's pretty significant, and that was a pre-war only feature. And what led me to this whole discussion of cabooses was about 25 years ago. I bought this pre-war version. And the reason I can tell it's pre-war is the hole for the marker light. And I can see that the wheels are blackened, which means it's pre-war. The wheels are narrower. You can see the width difference between the post-war and pre-war. The nickel that holds the truck on is brass on the post-war and nickel on the pre-war. There's a slot in the coupler. You can see that light goes right through there, that little slot in the coupler. That means it's a pre-war truck, pre-war coupler. And then what's really interesting about this caboose is someone, and it's not factory, has created a socket and a bulb and an insulated affair. And when I got it, there was no brass strip, and so I had to solder that on to make it work. But it's really a genius move because it's all insulated, and you can actually take these two nuts off and the whole assembly lifts out, and that means you don't have to bend the tabs. So he bent the tabs once to build that, and then you can take it apart to change the bulb if you ever need to. So we'll run this in just a few minutes. It's not the best, but it's quite nifty. It actually has red marker lights in the hole where it belongs, and then on the end it has glazing. So let's take it over to the track and give it a run and see how well it lights up. Now we've got the Illuminated Reading caboose in the back of the train. These are mostly pre-war 3/16 scale Marx cars, and we're going to pull it with a 999 that has an American Flyer smoker chugger unit inside, and we'll talk about that in a future edition. Let's give it a roll. Try that again. We have a bad coupler. Move things around a little bit. Let's give it another try. You know, the only thing that really bugs me about running this train is I've got a Reading caboose and a New York Central wedge tender. I think it was a big oversight on Marx's part to not have a Reading tender, so let's fix that. Okay, we switched locomotives to another 999, an open spoke this time, and look at the tender. A Reading wedge tender. I didn't decal this, somebody else did, but I really like it because it has a lot of patina and matches the Reading caboose really well. Whoever did it did a great job with gold letters. So let's give this one a run. Here's a better look at the caboose, the red marker light, can see the window over the door. Really looks good. Thanks for watching.